What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crown Cinema Podcast. In this episode, we literally just watched 3:10 to Yuma. Pretty badass Western.
Yeah.
It's kind of underrated because I know people that, like my dad likes this movie. He used to have it on DVD at our house, like on our DVD shelf. I never seen it before. And so I feel like it's underrated, but it's actually a really badass movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my personal favorites. This is probably my third time seeing it. You had just told me the other night that you haven't really gotten into Western films, and then we were kind of scrambling to find one for this episode, and I was just like, you know what? This would be a great intro to the Western scene for Cade.
I've seen Westerns, but not a lot of them. Like I've seen The Good and Bad and the Ugly before. I've seen a few of them. Tombstone, seen that.
Yeah.
Seen True Grit.
Those are good ones. Yeah, but I mean, this one came out in 2007. It's just, I feel like Westerns aren't as big as they used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they're still coming out.
I feel like they're kind of coming back because of Yellowstone and that kind of stuff, like those shows. But
yeah, and even still, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get a good Western nowadays, which is weird because there's so much from that time, and there's just so much going on. You can feel like it wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to make a very action-packed yet intriguing, thought-provoking plot, and that's what this had. That's what 3:10 to Yuma has. Great cast. I think it did well. It grossed $70 million when it came out, and obviously
he's got a stud cast.
Yeah, Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, and they're both playing very badass characters. Very good appeal. Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
This is a good one.
What do you rate it?
I rate this. I will say there are plot holes in it. There's just some things, there's little Hollywood magic sprinkled in there. But still, it's a good story. You're into it. I feel for me, I was into it pretty much the whole time. I'll give it an 8.5.
Nice. I'll give it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like it. Again, there's some things that don't really make sense, with the ending of why is Russell Crowe helping him?
Yeah.
Why is he letting him go? But I think it kind of goes back to, there's this line when he says, he's talking about being decent. Russell Crowe's character is talking about, Ben Wade's talking about being decent. And he says he doesn't do anything decent for people because he'd imagine seeing the gratitude in somebody's eyes would make you feel like the Holy Spirit himself.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm a bad guy. The only way I've known to live in this world and thrive in this world is through crime. So I have to keep myself evil and away from good, because I know if I turn to good, I'm going to want to be good.
Yeah.
So that could be the reason why at the end, maybe he's started to see the little glimmer of hope in the family's eyes, and just kind of seeing this guy struggling so bad, even though he is a hardworking guy, but he's just trying to do something for his family to make a name for himself. So maybe that's what Ben Wade's looking at, and he just decides, damn, now I got to be a good guy.
Yeah, and there's just little sprinkles of kind of hints that go into Russell Crowe's character, Ben Wade. I know at one point he quotes some Proverbs passage talking about every man is right in life in his own eyes. He was but God judges the heart.
Yeah.
And so Russell Crowe, kind of what you're saying, I mean, all he's ever known is just the ugly side of life. He was an abusive father that I think passed away too young or something like that. And then his mom just leaves him at a train reading the Bible.
Yeah.
And so any glimmer of goodness that he had, I mean, was taken away very quickly. So he's just well, the world's rotten. You may as well just be rotten with it to get through it.
Yeah.
And, it worked out for him. He became one of the most successful, I guess.
Robbers,
yeah. And murderers. And he's done well for himself.
Yeah, and his one thing he's done, or the one experience he has with the Bible, was with his mom leaving him. So he read the entire Bible waiting for her, and then gets the word of God and realizes that in his mind, nothing happened good. Reading it didn't do anything good for him.
And
so
then
maybe believing is a problem for him.
And then he also sees a character like Christian Bale's, who has stuck to, being a man of God and, doing everything. It's always the lesson of being bad and being successful versus being good and struggling all the time. And he looks at Christian Bale's character and he sees a man that has dedicated his life to doing the right thing every chance he gets, and he still can't get up ahead. Meanwhile, Russell Crowe's character has killed. They don't even mention how many people he has murdered. It's
a ton.
Yeah, it's just, you know, like he admits that he's murdered trains full of people, but there's not like an exact number. And they always ask him like multiple times, like, how many people have you killed? And there's always just that silence, like, dude,
Quite a few.
I mean, it can't even count it
Yeah.
anymore. He doesn't even remember the people that he's killed.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, and I've been doing this, and I'm a high roller. You know, I'm making a lot of money. I'm famous. And so I don't know. But it is interesting, like, going about seeing that he kind of wants some sense of redemption, and he sees a little bit of hope in Christian Bale's character, like you said.
That's a good contrast with them, because Christian Bale, like you were saying, he's a good guy who's trying to do good, but he's struggling so hard. He's even like, he doesn't really reference the Bible or talk about it. Like he's been praying for help, but God hasn't been answering. Nobody's been helping him out. There's nobody's throwing him a bone. And then, you know, you see Russell Crowe, who's like killing people and giving Bible verses for like the reason why it's okay. Like, he's like using that as for like evil. Yeah. But he still is like using God's name. And then Christian Bale's not using God's name at all. He's just kind of doing right just because he feels like that's what he should be doing. Yeah. So like that contrast of evil, but using God's word, and then being good, but not using God's word. Yeah. Like there's that contrast with them.
Yeah. I really enjoy this movie because it immediately gets you from the jump, and you got to appreciate, like, just because I understand like slow starts to movies and the build up, and you know, you're trying to like develop characters in your own way, but you got to appreciate a good Western that from the jump, it gets your attention.
Yeah, there's so many great scenes, the tension built with it. It sets up the stakes with the characters very well.
Yeah, but there's also plenty of times where, like, because it's not all action, there's a good amount of building. Like, they still keep you interested without all the gunshots.
Yeah, like even the dialogue scenes are good. There's like some long campfire scenes. They're just chit-chatting or riding the horses, just chit-chatting. But you're like getting into the beliefs of these characters, which keeps you hooked, because you like kind of see how they all structure in their like different beliefs.
Yeah, and it's always a good path, I think, to give the villain like some humanity.
Yeah, he's like an anti-hero sort of.
And he is, even though
he becomes one at the end. He wasn't always.
Yeah. But so who's your favorite character?
I mean, easily Ben Wade.
Wade?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
The son kind of sucks.
Percy Jackson?
Yeah, he sucks for the most of the movie.
The whole movie until the very, very end.
Yeah.
When he finally kind of sees, like, okay, all right, my dad's actually pretty chill.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it from his son's eyes, his dad's been doing the good thing, but in his son's eyes, his family's struggling, they're hungry, he's not providing for them. Then he looks at somebody like Ben Wade, and he's
a
thriving. Yeah, he's taking the world, you know, by the balls and choosing his own destiny versus, you know, what's Christian Bale's character's name? I forget.
It's Dan.
So anyway, Christian Bale's character, he's
Dan Evans.
Dan Evans. Okay.
Yeah.
He's just kind of floating through the world, just trying to figure it out, hoping something comes. So like that's what he hates his dad for. His dad's not doing anything he's just like letting people do this to him. He's like in debt. He's not, you know, going out to work or find something. He's just kind of floating through life until he finally decides to take action and like do something for his family, because it's just he's had enough of waiting around for it.
Yeah, God, shit talker.
Yeah, I know, shitting on his dad.
I mean, the whole time. I mean, we were laughing at one point, like, you know, Christian Bale's character's son, Percy Jackson, like comes up and pretty much saves the mission, you know, because he stops Wade. And Dan Evans looks at him and he's like, hey, like, you think you could keep that gun on him? And he just looks at him. He's like, better than you.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
You could just say yes.
Yes, just relax a little bit. I did like the original guy, like from the first scene, they get shot in the stomach.
Yeah.
He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And and so there's that contrast where you kind of think he's a good guy. You know, sure, he's a bounty hunter, but like, you know, he's probably only going after like bad people. So there's redemption in that, like the people that he kills. And Russell Crowe's character is pretty much pointing out, no, he's actually way worse than me. Because I don't think I don't think Russell Crowe's character. I don't think he's ever been. I don't think there's ever an accusation of him killing children.
No.
You know, he kills men.
Yeah, he kills people that stop him from doing what he's doing.
Yeah, and it's just interesting, like going about it that way. Like you see him get shot in the stomach, the bounty hunter.
Yeah,
and he's kind of a tough son of a bitch, and you enjoy that. Like, he's kind of a John Wayne type character,
old school, badass.
Old school and badass, and you're kind of rooting for him. You know, you're not rooting for Ben Wade at the beginning.
Yeah,
but then Ben Wade, the more he keeps talking, and the more he's like disgusted with the bounty hunter, it's on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, I've seen this guy kill women and children. I've seen him bury children alive. And it's like, oh, okay. Like this isn't a man of justice.
Yeah.
Really, one of the only men, like the two guys that are actually pretty good people are Christian Bale's character and the other guy that's like, no, we're getting him to contention on 310 to YUMA to hang in front of people.
The guy with the like mustache guy, the bank guy.
Yeah. And so it's really like not about money for him. He's backed by the government, sure, but he is in it for like true justice, because you could have killed him at any point if you wanted to, and you had people begging like, why don't we just put a bullet in his head now and be done with it?
I know that was another plot hole. It's like, why do they? He's done so many things that like this is like a problem at the end. Whenever he's following him, maybe he's following him because he knows he can escape from the prison or the train. Because at the very end, when the train rolls off, he like whistles to his horse, and his horse starts following the train. So he's already plotting his escape. Like we know he's gonna escape.
Oh
right?
wow, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, at the very end, he like is on the train. He goes whistles up to his horse, and his horse looks up and starts chasing after the train. So he's already planting the scenes of how he's gonna escape.
Yeah, he's already been to this prison twice
and escaped twice.
So,
and it's a hanging prison.
Yeah,
like he goes there to die.
Yeah, let's just be done with it.
Yeah,
you know.
But
let's just get him to the nearest town. Like if you want to hang him, go for it. I mean, the gang's still gonna kill everybody.
Yeah,
and it's just, I mean.
So okay, sure, he's doing it because he wants to help out the family and he's going with them. But it's like even before that, sometimes like why does he believe that they're gonna shoot him? Why does Ben Wade think that they're gonna shoot him? Because he's done things where he's like ran off, he's like killed somebody, he's done a bunch of shit on the road to YUMA, yet they haven't shot him yet. Not even winged him. They haven't even shot him in the leg or nothing.
What fear does he have of?
I wouldn't. I'd be like, I'm gonna run because guess what? You're not gonna shoot me. So if you shoot me, you ain't gonna get your money, and I'm not gonna go on the train. So it's just like he has all the leverage. He's like, you guys need me alive. So if I just run around, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I could keep stabbing people in the neck. I can throw guys off of cliffs. I can get guns in my hand. Apparently, like,
yeah.
You didn't even check me for a knife when we left the house after you just watched me eat dinner.
Right.
These guys actually kind of suck at their jobs.
They really do.
I mean.
It's also like whenever there's like gunshots and shit, like, okay, gunshots ring out. The people that are trying to take you hostage, if you're Ben Wade and you're watching these people like duck and shoot, and they're not focused on you anymore because they're focused on not getting killed and having to take out the threat. So Ben Wade could just pick up and run away because like they're not going to shoot him down. Again, they're not. They've proven that they're not going to do it.
Yeah. So
that's a bit of a plot hole there. It's like they could have maybe elaborated some way for the reason why they have to not kill him, or like, obviously, they have to bring him there because they want their money to get him to the prison. But it's like, if the whole reason is just justice to kill him, just kill
government,
him.
Throw me a fucking bone here.
There's got to be a bounty on his head. Back in the day, the bounty hunter was there. Why not just fucking, I guess maybe more money to get him hanged?
Yeah, more money alive than dead. But still, cut your losses, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, after he stabbed the guy, okay, we messed up. That won't happen again.
Yeah.
But I even told you at one point, it's like, just stop talking to him. That's clearly like in the wrong. Like, just have two guys in the front that are leading expedition, and then have Ben Wade in the middle, and then have somebody behind him. Stop putting people beside him.
Yes.
Stop letting him get small talk.
Put some fucking chains around his legs or something.
Yeah. Yes. Or chain him to tie him to the horse.
Tie him to yourself. Something.
Yeah. I mean, just not the best regulations with these guys. No. And it's just insane to me. I mean, especially after he killed the bounty hunter, after he throws him off the cliff. I mean, dude, like, I would have just been like, all right, let's be done with this. Like, if we're going to keep letting him talk, I mean, we're clearly just letting this guy get the better up on us. Like, he's escaped twice from YUMA. how did that not ever get brought up?
I know.
Like this guy, he's got the deadliest gang chasing after him, and he's just like the best at what he does somehow. I mean, this guy is clearly a huge threat, and there's only there's a doctor who's not even a doctor. He's a vet.
The crew that's taking him in is a bunch of pussies. Even the son's like, these guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna go with them?
Yeah. So you've got a veterinarian.
Yep.
You've got
not even real doctor.
You've got Dan Evans, who sure he's a good shot. He's got one leg.
He actually he is a good shot, but the accolades he said he has was not true because he revealed that he was just shot by his own teammate.
Yeah.
They had to saw his leg off because of it.
Yeah.
It's like he never even seen battle.
Which, by the way, another plot hole. That guy Christian Bale's character gets on just fine with one leg.
Yeah.
He was keeping up.
In the beginning, he can fucking barely walk.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's jumping off roofs, sprinting across like bullet-ridden sidewalks. It's like, what happened? What happened to your fucking leg?
Well, and I noticed because I was like, how is he getting along? Like, just fine. He's keeping up with him. And I noticed that he's like, you see Christian Bale trying to incorporate that he's got some type of limp.
Right.
No, you don't. You just jumped off a roof and you're keeping up with a guy that has two legs.
Yeah, surely your leg would fall out of your fake leg holster. Right? If you landed on it off a roof?
So, okay, so you got a vet, well, a horse doctor. And then you've got Dan Evans on one leg, kind of. You got a 14-year-old kid, and then you just got this guy with a mustache who I really don't see him. I mean, he survived, sure, but I don't really see him actually like putting in work, like killing a bunch of people. Like, he's not really that deadly.
Yeah.
It's just not a good enough crew.
No.
For this high caliber of a criminal. So there's that. And then when I say Hollywood magic, I mean, at the end, this gang, they've got a sniper. First off, they've got the Native American sniper, and he hit throughout the whole movie. He's hit every shot that he's tried to hit, and then all of a sudden, he just can't hit.
You're right. He's like the greatest shot,
and there's plenty of space. Like, I get that they're moving, like, and they're in close quarters, but there's plenty of space between Russell Crowe and Christian Bale where like you could hit that shot.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that they've got a whole town shooting at him too. Just a little Hollywood magic. Can't be that mad at it. Like, I won't nitpick. Like, it's just, they kind of lose a little bit of sense. Like, all right, like, got to get in the train somehow, but we've kind of dug ourselves into a hole here by making it damn near impossible. So how is it possible? Well, they just don't shoot him.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, good one, writers.
Yeah, they just miss every shot.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, somebody was in the room. He just like sets the pen down, stands up. He's like, they don't hit him.
Yeah.
Everybody just like looks around.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
And also,
we can
like,
make that work for like a 3-minute, like 3 minutes straight of them just running.
And they're shooting very close, willy-nilly missing with their target, or not, I mean, with the guy they're trying to rescue right next to the target. Like, they're shooting around Ben Wade willy-nilly. Like, they could easily wing or hit him too, like like a random stray bullet.
He does get hit.
Yeah.
He gets hit in the shoulder. Like, it's just not the best strategy on both parties, I suppose.
Maybe it's just too much chaos because they had the town come and kill too. They offered him $200 to kill the captors. So, like, but they eventually kill him. They kill the people because, like, y'all are fucking aiming at the wrong person. Yeah. Like, don't kill the guy with the hat.
I can't. I don't want to nitpick too hard. I mean, don't want to take anything away from the movie.
It's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. But,
like, with going back to his decency, there's, like, even examples of him talking about when he's saying, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see the expression of somebody who I do something decent for, because he does do things decent. Like when he steals the horses from Christian Bale and his son at the beginning of the movie, he ends up leaving them.
Yeah.
So, like, he did something decent, but he didn't stick around to watch their expressions, so that way he still feels like he's a bad man. And then whenever he runs away after he kills the Indians, he ends up leaving the shotgun he took to leave them with the shotgun so they can protect themselves. Yeah. So that's him also, like, leaving something behind, doing something decent, but not sticking around to watch, their facial expressions. So then he realizes how good it feels to be a good man.
Yeah. No, and I think you start, I think part of the other reason that Ben Wade, is it Wayne?
Wade.
Wade.
Yeah. Ben, yeah, you can do a fact check there. Pretty sure it's Ben Wade, though.
So bad if we just been getting this wrong. Ben Wade.
There we go.
Sorry, I just want to double check that. I also think that he's just getting kind of annoyed with his crew. Like, his right-hand man is just clearly like, he walks the thin line of ride or die / suck up. So I think, and there's one scene after they just robbed the cart and they just, walked away with a bunch of money. Then they ride into town after they've sent the marshals or the bounty hunters like on a fool's errand. And they're at the bar and he's pretty much explaining to his crew why he killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives some type of Bible passage where it's pretty much like, a man that like opens his mouth too wide is a fool and, deserves to die. And while he's saying that passage, he's got his right-hand man, Charlie Prince, going, amen. Like, you're right. And he just like keeps interjecting and he like keeps looking at him like, oh my God. Like,
and maybe he was cool with killing his crew because his crew were starting to like disrespect his leadership. Like they weren't ride or die. Like,
they're saying,
Charlie Prince was.
I could do this. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So maybe he's seeing his crews falling apart. He's like has the signs that they're not really going to stick around for him anymore.
Yeah, or they're just kind of slipping. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I always thought that was like kind of a interesting take. Like, not only is he maybe getting bored with just the lifestyle of like constantly being on the run and doing terrible things, but more than anything, he's just kind of annoyed with these guys. Like, God, these guys, like, they're just animals. Like, they're not very interesting to talk to. Like, they don't share like the same poetic and philosophical look that Ben Wade has. So I can't imagine him like being able to have like an interesting, intelligent conversation with anybody in that crew.
Yeah, right.
Because this guy, he's an artist and he says he's only read the Bible once. I don't know. That sounds like some BS to me.
He knows.
He's been quoting the Bible pretty much the whole movie.
Right.
And he's a philosophical guy. Like, he remembers like women from San Francisco with beautiful eyes. And
I think that might be also why he ends up helping them, because he's kind of relating to them because he sees the, that vengeance, or like you got that edge in Christian Bale's son's eyes. He sees it, like he kind of sees himself in his son. Yeah. And then he also in Christian Bale's wife, he like sees that girl that he met in San Francisco or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? He like maybe he relates to them. That's why he starts to like turn to want to help them, because he can just relate to them a little bit more.
Yeah, because I think he recognizes the beauty and like the struggle of being good. He maybe like throughout his whole life he's kind of found that lifestyle disgusting, but the more that he keeps killing and the more families that he destroys, like maybe it actually is starting to weigh on his conscience.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like, I think that's just like how the redeeming arc of his character is like pretty well illustrated.
Because there's even like, like you were saying, I agree that he's probably dealing with the evil world by being evil. If there's no way to get around it, mm-hmm. That's what he believes. Until we finally see Christian Bale's character just stick with his guns and do what's right.
Yeah.
Because he was hired to do a job. He's going to finish the job, and he's not going to do anything. He's not going to give up, and he has integrity. And so whenever they're sitting around waiting for the time so they can go run to the train, he draws a picture of him sitting there with his gun looking out the window on the first page of the Holy Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this guy is a holy man. Like, this guy is a representative of what this book is about.
Yeah.
So like being a good man, having integrity, doing the right thing all the time, sticking with your guns through the struggle.
Yeah. And I think one of the main things that stuck with Wade is whenever he's trying to bribe Christian Bale's character and he's saying like, hey, $1,000. All you got to do is just walk out of here. Like, I promise. Like, I really will pay you.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell, like, he's probably being pretty serious. Like, that's a real legit offer. And Christian Bale like looks at him and he's like, how do you expect me to explain that to people?
Yeah.
And that kind of hits him. He was like, why do you care? But he does. Like, he wants his sons to be respected and like the life that they go into moving forward.
Yeah, he wants his family to be honorable.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to just be sellouts. Like, oh, like you got this big ranch because you let a guy that murdered hundreds of people, I'm sure, like just get away.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're a coward. And so Russell Crowe probably just, saw that and was like, huh, like a man with honor, truly.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then at the end, I bet he doesn't do crime anymore after this. I bet he escapes Yuma and lives a life in Mexico. Because he was even talking about going to Mexico and leaving this life behind.
Yeah.
So maybe he's kind of in like...
He's like, I'm not wanted in Mexico. And like, clearly this dude, he has to have so much money. 22 robberies.
Yeah, he's got a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, 22 robberies.
I mean, he's willing to give $1,000.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money back then, I'm sure.
No, I think at one point they talk about how like one of the last shipments they robbed was like $400,000.
Yeah.
That is so much.
So what year was this?
The setting of the movie?
Yeah. Do you know?
I mean, Wild Wild West times.
When was that though? Like 1800s?
Yeah.
Let me figure it out because I want to see how much $1,000 would be. It doesn't say in this write-up. I think it's like in the 1850s maybe.
Well, think about this. Christian Bale's character, he gets paid $2 a day.
Yeah, right. Okay, so 1884.
Okay.
That's what like the guess is, just
Okay.
based off what they say about the history of the time. All right, so 18.
Well, we know it's after the Civil War because they talk about fighting for the North and the South.
Yeah.
So we know it's after that.
Okay, so the value of the dollar, the amount is $1,000. Calculate. Oh wait, that's 100. $100 is 32, so it'd be $32,000 is $1,000. So he's willing to give him $32,000 essentially, like today.
Yeah.
To just just let me go. I'll give you 32 grand.
I mean, but he tells me, he was like, you can hire ranch handlers, you can get a lot more land, like, and he keeps saying like, you could move somewhere else. And then at the end we find out like that's just really not an option.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild to like see just that character arc. They did a really good job with it.
They do a good job too of making Ben Wade a likable character. Like he's not a good guy, but because he's so badass and the way he talks and like he does little decent actions that you respect, when he kills the Indians that are attacking him, like that shit's so badass. He just like nobody knows what to do. They're shooting, missing. They don't know what the fuck's going on, and just Ben Wade handcuffed, steals a shotgun, runs up to him and fucking nukes them, all three of them.
Yeah. See, I always appreciate when a movie decides to do that, because I think of when we watched Horizon Chapter 1.
Yeah.
And we were so annoyed because Kevin Costner's character, everybody keeps alluding to the fact that he's like such a badass, but you really don't see him do anything worthwhile.
Right.
And maybe we'll see that in the the future movies.
The next 4-hour journey.
But in this movie, like you see plenty of times why Ben Wade is the best at what he does. I mean, you see him be like the quick shot, like, he's got a quick draw and, good aim, and he's smart, like capable. He proves it time and time again. He steals the dynamite, throws it in the mines, like blow it up. And it's just nice.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like to see a guy live up to why everybody fears him, why he's so famous. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah. It's like they all have good character introductions because it's showing, Ben Wade, just like you said, and then it shows Christian Bale's character not being respected by his family, losing, house burned down. So then, watching that, you understand the struggle and what he's trying to get, and you're trying to root for Christian Bale because you see the life he's being forced to live by just bad luck. And so you root for him. So like a movie like Horizon, they don't give you any insight who these fucking characters are. And then it jumps forward in time. You're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
What are they even going after?
See,
it's like this movie, it's contained. You know what people are going after. They're trying to get to Yuma by 3:10.
Yeah. I'm not giving up on Horizon yet. I got to see the second movie.
You're holding out.
I got to see the second movie.
Maybe it's like a Snyder Cut situation where the second one comes in and saves the day.
Shit, it better. Because even my parents didn't like that movie.
Nobody. Yeah, my dad was like, well, I mean, he said...
I feel so bad. It's so hard for my parents to get out and get to the theaters because they just...
Right.
But they see Kevin Costner, Western. Oh my gosh. It's going to be great. And then they got back home. My dad just scratched his head. He's like, huh. No,
Yeah.
that didn't really do it for me.
It was like on cable again or something. My dad said he watched it again, like just to see, and he's like, I still have no idea what the hell this movie's about.
Yeah. That's the point. Because how long was this movie? Wasn't that long.
Like
I think
2
it was
hours,
right at 2 hours.
Yeah, a little over 2 hours.
Yeah. That's all you need, man.
That's all you need.
You got plenty of time to come up with a good story.
If you got 3 hours, you better make that thing a banger.
Can't be going after like 10 different characters' stories.
No.
Or whatever. It was 8.
Yeah, because I mean, this one has a lot of characters and it's like a big story because they travel across different towns and stuff. But like to keep it contained with the story, like the side characters don't really. They pop in when they need to, and they get killed or leave when they need to.
That's right.
They don't stick around for too long.
Yeah, shout out to the horse doctor. That was one of my favorite characters in this movie.
Yeah,
I think he was Ben Wade's favorite guy on that trip, besides Christian Bale's character.
yeah,
Just, he was the only one laughing at his jokes. He was the only one kind of saying like, "Hey, you can't do that. That's not right."
yeah,
And he was like, "All right, this is my kind of guy."
yeah. The best is whenever the bounty hunter guy gets shot and they're trying to pull the bullet out of his stomach, and he's laying on the table and he gets it pulled out and he's like looking around and he sees a bunch of animal stuff around. He's like, "What the fuck kind of doctor are you?" He's like, "It's kind of nice talking to a patient every once in a while."
Get me out!
Yeah, and also like, why did the doctor even come along? What's he got in? What stake does he have in this mission? He just wants to be a part of the boys.
No. He he's there to like let's say, I mean, if anybody gets injured, they got a doctor on board. Like if Ben Wade were to like take a shot, like they could help him. They already know this bounty hunter, like he's got the injury in his stomach, so it's like if anything happens, like we can like patch him up. Clearly nobody else knows what to do.
Yeah, and also Ben Wade doesn't really kill any bad people. I mean, sorry, any good people. He kind of kills the bad people. Like first person he killed was the person that we hated on the crew, was the dude that was singing to him like he's gonna get hung, and he's the one that told Christian Bale that he's gonna take his land and
gonna burn his house down.
Like, fuck you, yeah, like that. And he also burned his house down. It's like that guy sucks. So Ben Wade killed him. Ben Wade then killed the bounty hunter. He doesn't have any respect
the people
for.
On the stagecoach.
Right
at the beginning.
Yeah,
I mean he killed his own crew member, bad guy.
Right.
But then the guy that had the gun to his head, not a bad guy.
But, in Ben Wade's mind, those people that are traveling with that money, they know the risk of their jobs. Yeah. They signed up for the risk that Ben Wade's going to come after him. So they know the game.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can kill you. Like, you know what it's all about.
Yeah. So I guess there is that. Way to defend Ben Wade.
Yeah. To defend the evils of Ben Wade.
Yeah, 22 robbery. If I don't rob him, somebody else will.
Except in the past, I think he's becoming a better guy because they talk about like, hey, is that true? You killed this many people on a
wagon?
On a wagon? He's like, no, it's an entire train car.
Yeah, blew up an entire yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, no, the body count is way, way up there for him.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of interesting because it's the Wild West, and like we all know like how really rough it was. And it's just kind of like to go back like on the whole Ben Wade like being a prisoner or whatever. They treated him so nicely and respectfully, whereas I don't really think that would be the case for a guy that's killed like hundreds of people and
definitely not
done like terrible things, because they all know a bunch of people that he's probably killed.
Yeah.
Being in the stagecoach business, they probably got a lot of friends, like family members that have been involved, and like this guy has killed all of them. Like, first off, I would not be letting him talk.
No.
And like
gag him.
Yeah, like yeah. And like, dude, like you get rough with him like anytime they're just really nice to him.
You gotta be rough with an outlaw. You can't just treat him like a friend.
Yeah. And like
because like think about Billy the Kid or any of those other stories, even Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, they weren't gonna go capture them to hang them. They were gonna go kill them.
Yeah.
Like that goal number one, just kill these motherfuckers and we'll give you some money for it.
Yeah. I'm just thinking with Ben Wade's character, like, yeah, you gag him, and then when it's time to go to sleep, dude, go tie that dude up to a tree.
Yeah.
Who cares how comfortable he is?
Yeah.
But no, like he gets to eat at the dinner table with them. All he has is handcuffs on the front. Like he could still,
yeah,
like, he's still very mobile.
Yeah, why not put it behind his back?
He gets to sleep next to the fire.
Yeah, they lay him up in the bridesmaids or bridal suite bed to chill out while everybody else is like stressed out of their mind looking out the windows. That's what's cool about his character too, though, is that he's just so charismatic and nonchalant the whole time. Like his confidence is just like overshadows everybody. Like you just watch the scene, you know that he's in control. Like you're like, what is he gonna do? Because I know he's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah. Man. But the Wild Wild West, man. We were talking about this during the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to our ancestors that got through that.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Rough time. I wonder what like the easiest life was in the Wild Wild West. Just like settling in a town and just working some normal job. Because I mean, most people that were trying to like start a new life on like the frontier, they had a rough life having to start from literally ground zero. You know?
It was like, yeah, you can go get all that land, but there's a lot of people that are going to come try and take that land from you. And
you get sick. Like you got to travel miles to the town to go get like a doctor.
Yeah, like a day's trip. Yeah, like depending on how far you are. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Indians coming after you to come just scalp you and, you know, destroy you with arrows. Put 100 arrows in your gut.
That's if you're lucky.
Yeah. They might rape you beforehand.
Yeah, they'll do like the most twisted shit. So yeah, shout out to our people that survived. And then there's us doing a podcast.
That is so interesting a thought though, of like the lineage of like since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
You can get traced back to it and you somehow are surviving in this lineage. It's wild.
They'd be proud of us.
Yeah.
They'd be real proud of us.
Hope so. It's like imagine like, you know, before you could have kids or something and it's like, damn, that line's gone. If you're like an only child, it's like that entire ancestry.
There was a lot of work done to get us here.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But, man.
I think the main thing that makes a movie good is just the performances of Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. That's what's cool. Like they're believable as these tough guys. And you know, Christian Bale is a tough guy, but he also, the way he plays it, you can tell he's like not very respected, but he's still like sure of himself because like he knows what he's doing is right, even though his entire family's like doesn't respect him or doesn't really trust what he's doing. But he's trying to do the best thing he can for his family. So the way he plays it, like this stoic guy that's kind of like down on his luck, and that's a good performance. And then, you know, Russell Crowe being just a badass guy, great performance.
I need to go watch more Russell Crowe movies.
He's good. He's got some good movies. What else is he in?
Well, he's in Nice Guys, which we did an episode on, and then he was in one movie where he plays a really angry truck driver.
Oh yeah, Road Rage or something.
Did
we
watch that together?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, I don't know who I watched that with.
Unhinged. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
He's
big old boy in that movie.
He just got on Rogan's podcast and he was talking about like how he picks movies, and it's like, so the story could be like dog shit, like the script could be terrible, but if there's like one glimmer of like a moment that he's like, I love that, like I have to be the guy that does that moment, then he'll pick the script, and he can like workshop the script with the writers or the director to like make it a little bit better for what he thinks will be better. But he's like, if there's all I need is a little glimmer of like a moment in a script that I'm like, damn, that has to be me. Like I have to be the guy that plays that role because I know how to do it. So as you read scripts, if he finds that moment, that's how he's gonna pick it.
I still haven't seen. Is it called Beautiful Mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that movie. And
that's,
I know that's
such a good movie.
Yeah. You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go watch that.
That's a good movie.
We should save that for the pod.
Yeah, we should watch it. It's a good movie. Cinderella Man, boxing movie.
No.
He was in this boxing movie, and it's supposed to be a really good movie too, 2005. But there's a scene in there because they were trying to like, as they progressed through the, we should probably watch the movie and we can talk about this, but I'll just mention this one part. There's like a scene in the movie where like him and the amateur boxer, maybe he's an Olympic boxer, they actually fought for the movie. Like there's like a scene where he's fighting and they like just decided like, no, let's actually box.
Let's actually duke it out.
So they were just fucking punching each other, duking it out.
How can you do that? That like, I don't know. I guess it saves the makeup people some time like after that, but I don't know. Like,
I'm sure they probably didn't go 100% with their punches. They probably pulled them a bit to make it not hit as hard, but they were definitely still boxing each other.
I don't know. The man in me, like if somebody actually hit me a little too hard, it's like, fuck you, let's do this then.
Right, yeah. That's what, because he was talking about, there are stunt guys like that or boxers like that. Like when you get a good look, they're going to get a good lick on them. They're going to want to try to punch you, like hurt you back.
Yeah.
And so like these guys, some guys are just out there to hurt you.
That's just in your nature.
Right.
Like that's in our nature.
So he said he'd stay away from those guys. He wouldn't try to box with them because he knew they would come back with some heat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good actor.
He plays badasses very well. For whatever reason, like just looking at him, he doesn't seem like a badass guy, but the way he performs is always badass.
Yeah. It's that voice, man.
It's the voice.
Russell Crowe's just and oh shit, Gladiator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Badass in that one.
Yeah, that's a big
Maximus.
one. That's a big one. You love that movie.
It's a great movie. It's a 9.
To some.
To most. To most.
Shout out to our boy Scott. Hasn't seen Gladiator.
We need to get him on it.
I don't care to.
I'll get him on it.
No way to stay true,
We'll
Scott.
maybe we'll redo Gladiator so you can watch it again and change your score.
We really don't have to. I've said it before. My score is absolute.
No, mine will fluctuate. Because you never know. Maybe you watch it like 3 times and you finally get it. You're like, oh, damn. I didn't understand it before. Now the movie's great.
No, I understood it. I got it.
Not that one specifically, just in general. You may change your mind.
Yeah. But 310 to Yuma, like, I don't think there's really as much thought-provoking. Like, the plot is pretty good. Like, I think there's just a lot of redemption. Like, him getting on the train is showing that he's become more of a decent man. Although the horse has kind of thrown me off. I've never really noticed that.
Yeah, he whistles at his horse and it chases after him.
Yeah, but I do like to think, I mean, he's killed his gang. So if he escapes, yeah, I like to think that he's just going to go to Mexico and just chill out.
Yeah, with all of his riches.
Yeah, because he probably doesn't want to die. He is a godly man. Like, he has read the Bible. Like, I think he believes in something. And I mean, he definitely sees like an abstract world. So if he does believe that, he probably doesn't think he's going to heaven.
Yeah, I think he even mentioned that.
I mean,
he said something about like
he does say like, I'm a rotten man.
Yeah,
you know, it's just that's a lot to explain at the pearly gates of heaven.
I'm a rotten man, but please let me in.
Yeah. Well, what happened to that? What happened to that train cart that you blew up? And I mean, there were like a lot of people in that. Like, I asked for forgiveness.
Yeah. Also, being like an 8-year-old boy reading the entire Bible, you probably didn't understand a lot of it. So you probably got a twisted interpretation of what the words meant.
Yeah. And
again, like if you just pull lines out from it without knowing the full context of what was being said, you can make it seem like whatever you think. Like it's just one line of, you can pull one line out of any book and make it seem like it's something else without knowing the entire context of the book. So he's kind of like using the Bible and the stuff to like essentially kind of trick people that what he's doing is right. And even probably trick himself. Because maybe he just remembers these white lines and like he just warped it in his mind to mean something else to make his actions okay. He like justifies himself all the time.
He also justifies, because when he's going after these stagecoaches, he's pretty much like he's attacking the government. So this is like war to him. They even say it after the first stagecoach that you see robbed. When they're at the bar, they're like, we lost good men in battle today. Mm-hmm. So he does justify it as kind of, I think a soldier would justify killing in war, which is interesting. So he really doesn't consider this as murder. Now, I don't really know how I could justify like the train cart.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I don't know how you could really go about justifying that. But it is interesting, like all the people that he's killed, it's kind of what you said, like all these people that are taking the stagecoach from town to town, they know what they signed up for.
Also, is there that money from taxes being collected?
I don't know.
If it's the government's money, then it has to be taxes.
Yeah.
So then it's like he's not stealing from people, he's just stealing from the government,
right.
Not stealing from you.
Yes. So like there is a justification in that, which is why it's good to go back on. He is just a soldier, or he's a captain leading his soldiers into battle. Whereas the bounty hunters, like they don't care. Like they'll kill whoever for like a good price. And so he's like, I am way more moral than any of y'all. So maybe he does make it to heaven.
But he does lead a gang of like horrible men.
That is true.
So he said, I have to be rotten if I want to lead these guys.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a small sacrifice he makes. He just decides that if I want to live a free life in this evil world, then I got to become this evil man with these evil men and lead them so I can get my riches and move on.
He also killed all of them at the end there.
Yeah, that's his full redemption of him like leaving that life behind.
Yeah. That was it.
Then he happily gets on the train.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to. He had his gun back.
Yeah.
He's always the fastest shooter there is, and he just decided, all right, I'll get on the train. Yeah. Hands the guy his gun.
Yeah.
Sits down in the cage.
So, I mean, I say it's not like the most thought-provoking movie, but I guess it kind of is.
There's that God element.
Yeah, like it's good to kind of like look into it a little bit more, and but again, it's not confusing. It's very clear like what they're going for in this movie, and it's good versus evil, and evil trying to do good at the end. And so it's there's it's just not a very overcomplicated movie.
Yeah, because it even has the message of showing that doing good usually is more powerful than doing bad. Because like even in real life, when you do something good, you feel so good about yourself.
Yeah,
like giving people gifts or doing something nice for somebody. Watching their expression is always like what makes you feel happy about doing it.
Yeah,
being generous is a very positive thing to do for yourself. And so him being generous, now he realizes that like this actually does feel better. Because even like we said before, he mentions I don't want to do good because if I do good, I know it's going to feel good, and I can't be good.
Yeah.
So he finally does good, and now he's like, well, looks down on his cross on his pistol, and he's like, all right, well, looks like I'm a good man now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christian Bale.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on this movie?
Final thoughts, I'd say it's a pretty solid movie, good Western. Some plot holes you got to look over, but overall, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, if you can get past the Hollywood magic, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch. I'm sure I'll watch it a couple more times in my life.
100%. I'll probably watch it again.
Yeah.
Mercedes probably like it too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Comment below your thoughts on 310 of YUMA if you've seen it, and we'll catch you next week. We're out.
Trying to buy my next meal. Seems all I do is drive. And when the boss man sends my next check in the mail, I'll have enough for closing time. And I've been cussing like a sailor since I ran out of weed. My tank is